N64. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Guest, joined by Mike Sneedy.
What's up?
Corey Feinsod.
Ahoy.
And Tony Korkanakis.
Hello.
What's up, guys? Welcome, listeners and viewers, to 564 of the Gamecast. Whew. All right, guys. Lot to do. We're at a Nintendo event that we need to get into very shortly. But first things first, we're going to get into what we've been playing. Mike, what have you been playing?
Well, I mentioned that I was well into the expansions for Control last week, and I finished them probably right after that. They're not super lengthy, but they're substantial, and I did all of the quests and the side quests. The AWE one has a fair amount of side quests, but they were fun. Mostly some new puzzles. Since I was pretty powerful, despite it still being kind of hard, there wasn't as many walls as there were in the main game, so I was able to get through it pretty quick. So it was fun. Definitely expanded the lore, raised new questions, answered a couple already, but definitely good, and I look forward to what Remedy does going forward with Alan Wake and Control, so it's good. And then I moved on to Lost Judgment, as it just came out. And I've got about 8 hours into that, and I've read a few reviews, and the reviews were a little more mixed than I expected going into this. I know that Japanese publications, at least Famitsu, gave it like a really high score, and a lot of the Western publications were a little more middling. I think, I theorized that they didn't have time to localize stuff quite as much this time since it was a worldwide release, and some of the quirks, I guess, cultural quirks, don't translate as well. Like, basically, the first 5 or so hours of this game I spend trying to justify my presence in a high school as a 40-year-old dude, just putting hidden cameras everywhere in a high school. That's most of what you're doing in the early parts of this game.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to avoid being labeled a pervert early on. So it's fun. But I find it kind of funny. But the game does start off generally kind of slow. Like, I'm just getting to, I feel like, the crux of the story now, and I am 8.5 hours in. But it's the same thing. You get to revisit the Jincho, the same town that you were in. Obviously, Kamurocho is still there, but the one in Like a Dragon. So now you can visit that same town in an action game, which is interesting. It's interesting to see a little other version of the same place. I just played Like a Dragon like a month ago or something, so it's almost too familiar for me. Like, at this point, normally there's a little bit more of a break before you go to the exact same two locations that you were just in, but it's still fine, and we'll see how it goes. But I like it enough. It's about what I expected so far, and there is a new fighting style, snake fighting style, which I really like. It's very parry and counter based, and we'll see if I continue to like it as I level up. But I like it. It seems like it's going to be pretty meaty, which is good. And we'll go from there. It worked out well for me because I played the first one last December. So that was... So I'm playing the sequel less than a year later. And so everything is fresh, but not boringly recent for me.
Can you kick off with just this one?
You could. I would still play the first one. I mean, the first Judgment. You could just play this one, though. I mean, you'll see a couple characters like, who are they? Why are they your friends? But you don't really need to know
Why
that.
are these guys my friends?
Yeah.
I mean, I kicked off Yakuza with basically
that was
Lost Dragon thing,
a new character, though. So he was there. This guy has had his own story once already, part one of his story at least.
Yeah. So
all these games kind of work as either individuals or part of the bigger group, especially since they repeat the same environments over and over again.
Yeah. All right, Corey.
I've been playing more Tribes of Midgard. I found a kind of a not a glitch, but a way to farm a resource that is their currency essentially, where you can only get it by playing the game essentially. But what it is they have these this world. It's a survival game, so you start up a new fresh instance, and you're trying to beat the saga boss they call it, and survive as long as you can for up to like 15 days essentially. After that, it's just gonna kill you because you can't survive. But it's up to 10 people, and so you just start a world, get everybody in there, start doing a couple things, make sure everybody's going smooth, get the engine running a little bit, and then just save and quit, and then come back 3 hours later and you got all your stuff and you're done because everybody else did the work for you. So it's pretty funny because it still keeps the world alive for you, but it still progresses for everyone else. So when you go back into the game, like you can just do this for you just play for like half an hour, 15 minutes, whatever it is, until you see everybody there. And as long as the group that's there is good enough to finish the game, which at this point most people are, you just spawn back in when it's over and you get rewarded for everything. So that's like
Nice.
pretty funny because you can just do that. Because that's what I did on Sunday. I was just like, yep, I'm gonna watch the football game and start this while I'm not doing anything. I can get my currency. So because like you need this currency in order to purchase like the really high level weapons, and then like in the shop you can get cosmetics that you pay for with this currency. So it's interesting. It's pretty funny that that's a thing that can happen. But I am also doing a survival mode with my buddies that I have. There's three of us that are doing it, where it's just to try to survive as long as possible. There's no ending to it. And we are so overpowered right now. It's just been super boring. And there's an achievement for surviving 100 days. And we've been playing for like a couple weeks, and we're at like day 40 right now. So it's like, just keep going. Let's go quicker. So, but
Wow.
once that's done,
Wow.
we'll see. They do have a update coming next week, which I think is gonna be pretty. It's gonna infuse some life into this because it has gotten a little stale now. But that's how these things go.
Okay.
So,
funny
and the other thing is Miles Morales.
I was just gonna say, it's funny you talked about achievements because I read one about a recent remaster from a video game company that is in hot water. I won't name the name, but apparently there's an achievement to get to level 99 in hardcore mode. And hardcore mode is if you die once, your character just gets auto-deleted. Like you can't res or anything like that. I've never done that. I've only gotten to like 60-something way back when. So I was like, ooh. I was like, that sucks. But so
We'll talk about them later, I'm assuming.
Oh, we will.
Yeah. I only started one of those characters in 3, not so. Anyway,
Yeah. I mean, two is fun, but
I play Miles Morales, but like it's difficult with kids because they want to play when you're playing. So I have not made any progress because they're the ones.
It's Spider-Man, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and it's something like, I could play this while they're playing, like while they're around. But no, it doesn't really work out. So I have to
I gotcha. So, all right, Tony.
Let's see. I got some stealth drops or shadow drops from the Nintendo Direct. So I've been playing a little bit of the Castlevania Advance Collection. Went back to 2001 by playing Circle the Moon, which was one of the first third-party games to launch on the system, and it holds up really well. Actually, I'm pleasantly surprised.
Really?
Yeah.
I wanted to give that a try. I saw that announced, and I mean, I was just wondering how they came out. So yeah.
Good. I mean, for $20 you get 4 games, $5 a piece. I mean, if you try to buy any of these physically, you're gonna pay way more than $20 for any one of them. But it's fun. They introduce some quality of life stuff, like whenever you kill an enemy, it'll tell you if you've gotten like the rare whatever drop from it or something like that. You can do save states. You can rewind like a lot of the older retro game emulation stuff. So I was abusing that because I farmed all this stuff before, but I'm not going to spend the legitimate time to do that anymore. So it's like I kill an enemy, and if it doesn't drop what I want, I just rewind like 2 seconds and kill it again because it does a new roll system to check if it drops the rare drop or anything like that. If it doesn't, just rewind a second or two and just do it over again. Just like so, it cuts it down dramatically. So that's helpful. But the other game I've been playing was totally out of left field. In that I don't think a single person in the world even hinted at it, but ActRaiser Renaissance, which is a remake of the Super Nintendo game ActRaiser.
Yeah.
One of my favorite, I don't think it was a launch game, but like close to launch of the Super Nintendo was ActRaiser, because it had this really interesting premise between like side-scrolling platforming action, as well as like a simulation life civilization building game or whatever like that. So that was fun. To see Square Enix be like, hey,
Nice.
we're remaking this and it's out today. I was like, what? They don't do that shit. Like, ever.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember this game. Like, I saw it on Twitter like crazy when it was announced. Let me see some images. Oh yes, yeah, okay, I got you. I played this. Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember this game.
So
yeah.
they're,
I'm sorry, I was looking it up finally. But
yeah, no problem. But
yeah,
this is one of those IPs that like just were lost to time. And plus it was like one of those games that's like, come on, Square, you have so many franchises, like at least port it to systems or do something. And they did their own thing and like, let's remaster it. And I say remaster because it's like, you know, it's not going to have the budget of a lot of these other remasters. I think it was made by people that beat it already. Said like the team was like 15 people or something like that. But they ported it, did like HD sprites or polygon models rather. But they also introduced some new mechanics too, where it's like when you build your city, that was like it for, you know, the main game. You would just defend it against monsters as the angel. But this one, they took it a step further and introduced a tower defense mode where like you have to help guide your followers because you play as a deity in this game. And it's kind of weird playing this as a, you know, 30-something because I'm like, this game's implications are a little bit different than it used to be because it's like pretty much like you're a deity going around saving people and getting them to believe in you and worship you and stuff like that. And I was like, interesting. But yeah, it's really fun. I like it a lot. I bought it instantly. I texted Eric, and he's like, dude, I'm getting this right now. So hopefully it does well, and I would love to see them do other game remasters like the Blazing Soul series. One of my personal favorites, Valkyrie Profile. Like Square Enix has this huge deep catalog of all these publishers they just randomly acquired over the years, and they didn't do shit.
Valkyrie Profile would be amazing. Like they haven't touched that. Like seriously, like that's yeah. So absolutely, that's a perfect one. They have tons of. You're right. They have tons of IPs they brought out. Like just the golden era of like RPG stuff from them, and it's like they just never touched those series again. So yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember the other game I played that was like a strategy tactic RPG.
Tactics Ogre? Or Ogre Battle?
Was it? No, it wasn't Tactics Ogre. Maybe it was Ogre Battle. That was probably it. Yeah, that was it. That was on the that was the one. So I mean, they have like a whole bunch of franchises they haven't even touched in forever, and it was so good to bring some of this stuff back, even if it's just re-release kind of stuff. Just start getting the hype again for these games. See what sticks. You know, throw it out there, see what sticks, and then see what you can do with it. Yep. Cool. All right, let's see. What do we have in the news here? We've got the Blizzard. Let's just kick it off with the Blizzard news. So what do we have here? The settling of the
one of 3 lawsuits.
One of these is 18 million.
Yeah.
Yes. Settling of this one of 3, an 18 million settlement here, just out of court, right? That's it, paying it off, and that's the way they're going to deal with this. The SEC is investigating them, though, right? Like this is like actual investigation from the government. That's not something you settle out of court. Like that's you know what I mean? Like it's
something else.
Yeah, that was just going to be a harassment settlement, right? So $18 million. As we mentioned, Blizzard has had their own problems, and I think Nick was on our Discord was talking about the fact that, like, you know, he still wants to follow the games, but like Diablo 2 just looks so bland for what they did to it for the remaster, and Yeah, they
We
did nothing
crowned a
else
Overwatch
really going on.
champion in the Overwatch League too. I mean, it's the grand
They,
finals.
they did. It's over.
Yeah,
We
Shanghai.
didn't talk about it at all this year. Yeah, wow. Didn't talk about it all this season. So, yeah, they don't deserve much of the airtime. So it's like, again, it's just like it's they're the company. Fuck Blizzard. So you know what I mean? Like it's just they're the ones now that have that label.
And Nirvana
And
was Blizzard employees, so it seems.
yeah, I mean that was unfortunately.
So
they have a lot of.
Like we're not gonna get worst or worst company in the world this year. Like
yeah,
we did.
I mean,
We'll see. Based.
It's
on
unbelievable.
those, but yeah.
It's just the Blizzard. I mean, if you think back to the China thing, the whole China issue they had with backing, not wanting to back the Hong Kong. Was it the Hong Kong controversy?
Yeah,
right. That was the whole thing, right?
It was the player Blitz.
Yeah. And they didn't want to deal with that at all. And it was just like I remember that at their BlizzCon, and then we, they somehow weathered that storm, which was not by weathering, they just ignored it essentially. I'm happy to see this thing. It's sticking because they're trying to ignore it. They're trying to do the same thing here, and it's just not going away, which is good news.
Yep.
They're paying people now because this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to they're just quiet it out and just ride out this crap that's happening. And Bobby Kotick needs to step down. That's it. Just walk away. That's the problem right there. It's all at the head again. It's bad company is your leadership, and this has been a problem for years. We just mentioned another issue that happened, and again, it goes back to your leadership. So that's it. I mean, I don't think anybody disagrees, right?
No.
Hard to at this point.
Just interested to see what comes up every new week. It seems like every new week brings a new lawsuit. So got to run out of money eventually.
Yeah, that's it. So Activision at some point is going to be like, dude, they're bleeding.
Right. Well,
that's
what the one investigation. SEC is investigating if they deceive shareholders, and if you deceive shareholders, that's a huge story. Like that will force somebody to either fire or resign. So like,
I mean, that's the thing is when the SEC gets involved, is because big money is getting manipulated / like lost, and now people who have influence are complaining because like. It's not like not necessarily like us like I bought a couple shares of Activision
like banks and stuff
but,
like investment.
Right, yeah, like you got like exactly mutual funds
that's that issue, and then you have the actual government. The government also investigating the HR department for not following through with their investigations and the harassment claims. There's two different things going on with the government. That doesn't go away. That's not money related. That's not going to get eventually there may be a fine there, but there will be people that lose their jobs.
Yeah.
So
the 18 million was 100% fuck off money. Like fuck off or paying you to just fuck off. The other lawsuits
what like write a number down like just like
it's like that Simpsons episode. This is the number we're thinking.
Yeah. Yes. All right. What else do we have in the news here? We've got the Nintendo Direct happened, but let's leave that one. We'll leave that for the end here. We've got a rumor for a Marvel multiplayer game in the works, possibly PS5 exclusive. Apparently, this is got some smoke where there's fire where there's smoke, right? Is that how it works? Or smoke where there's fire? I don't know. Whatever that saying is.
Fire is the saying.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. So I said it right the first time. Xbox era co-founder Nick Baker on his most recent podcast mentioned the fact that there is he's been told that there's a blank going around going to sound weird now without his original context because he can't talk about it. He's been already barred from talking about it. It's basically a multiplayer Marvel game allegedly in the works that will probably be a PS5 exclusive. I've had to cut back originally what I was going to say, so now that sounds a little bit funny and makes less sense than it would have had I got to say what I originally wanted to say. So if there's a NDA on it, there's probably happening.
There's a blank.
Yes.
That's what he said. Okay.
No, it's been cut. It's been cut. So he's like, I can't say what I was going to say. So he's like, there's and apparently there was silence. So, yeah, I don't know. Interesting to see what they're going to do from this. The Marvel's Avenger game is apparently coming to Game Pass, which is interesting. It kind of goes together with this whole thing.
I mean, it's also interesting because he like the PlayStation exclusive is like Game Pass. If you're gonna, it's normally a great bet for games like this that you don't want to have risk any investment on. But you also know this won't be where like Spider-Man will never come to this version.
Nope.
Ever.
Nope.
Then again, who knows when he's gonna come to the PlayStation version?
It's been a
since
year.
they've like
It's been a fucking year.
spent forever fucking around. I don't know what they're doing with that, but. I mean, I'll probably try it when I'm finished with Lost Judgment since it's on there, but maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, it's like there's a speculation this Marvel game is going to be like an Ultimate Alliance game or something.
Multiplayer Marvel game that is in the works. They don't have much information except for PS5 exclusive.
How long was this blank? I don't get. Like, did he say game? He can't say game. Like, what words did he use that?
Here's what I've got from the article. This is what I got. I have been told there's a blank thing here, and this is going to sound weird now without my original context. It's going to sound stupid. Kind of blank multiplayer Marvel game allegedly in the works that will probably be a PS5 exclusive.
Is it going to be Battle Royale?
Maybe a Battle Royale Marvel game. That could be.
Oh god, that'd be.
I don't want it, but that could be.
Online game. Oh boy.
I don't want it, but that could be what it is. But do you think X-Men multiplayer Marvel game?
I mean, that would be better.
If you're gonna do a Marvel game,
there's too few details for me to speculate on.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to think of. What fits in that blank.
It's fun. It's Marvel fun.
I love.
I like. You know what I like about it is the fact that Marvel has their IPs back, where it's like. You can speculate now where it's okay. It's not going to be the Avengers game because it could be Fantastic Four. It could be X-Men. It could be. I mean, there's a ton of franchises now that we can actually finally do that. They're not trying to bury. Remember, we talked about that for years, where they're just trying to bury the X-Men because they didn't own their rights. So
no, I mean the toys. We got toys again. It's amazing.
So funny.
So
couldn't find X-Men merchandise for years, and then all of a sudden, it's just the floodgates.
Like, hey guys, we'll make money off this again.
It was just back ordered for years, guys. That's all it was. It wasn't anything drastic there. But all right, let's move on. The last bit of news is the Nintendo Direct that occurred last week. A lot of game announcements. I mean, I think the biggest surprise, I think it was a surprise for me, was Kirby. I mean, that was like.
What's funny is my kids, they love the Kirby game on the Nintendo.
Yeah.
Super Nintendo, like online. On Switch, that's
Super
like their go-to.
Yeah,
that's their go-to game.
It's amazing. I don't blame your kids
because they can both play it, and like
your kids have.
It's funny because my the older one, he's like he doesn't want to be Kirby because he wants to be all the assistant people. He wants to like make me this guy, make me this guy. Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah, that's great. No, I mean you get the Kirby in the Forgotten Land series, which is like a post-apocalyptic Kirby game. It looks like almost.
I saw that.
Interesting.
And I was like, "Is this like Kirby Last of Us?" Because
it looked like that.
Nintendo had accidentally leaked out like the name of the Kirby title, like just a few hours ahead of the Direct, and we were all like, "What? Like this sounds really weird." And then like you just see like this cartoonish version of like a post-apocalyptic city that's been overrun by like wildlife,
nature.
Yeah. And I'm like, what? Is this Kirby? And it's like, yep. All of a sudden you just see like the pink Kirby just like waking up on like the shore or something like that. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, so it's the last of Kirby? Yeah. I don't know. Or like Kirby Automata? I don't know.
The last Kirby of us.
The last Kirby of us. But this is interesting for me personally because I mean I love Kirby. Not like a top tier franchise, I would say, but like
more on the kiddie side too.
Yeah, it's definitely on the kiddie side, but it's one of those I would call like comfort food games where it's like I wouldn't say any Kirby game is bad. They're good to great. A few of them are the exception, but they're always gonna have a good time. You're never gonna be like, oh man, I can't believe I played that. But this is the first time in a long time since he's gone 3D. Or actually, this might be the first time it's like a 3D platformer, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I mean,
I don't know of any.
Because I think everybody else has had it except for Yoshi, like Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, stuff like that. So looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. And if you think about it, like Mario Odyssey was actually sort of like a Kirby game. If you think about when you like throw the cap and possess
Picking the hats, changing.
like,
Yep.
It's like mini Kirby. So like I'm interested to see what goes on there.
Yeah,
I think it's
could be
also in
interesting.
March or something like that, so we don't have to wait too long.
Yeah, it's March. We also got Bayonetta 3 news finally.
Yep, that was the closer of the direct. So
Oh, I know it was the closer. I'm sorry, I didn't watch the ending of that. I just know that I read the news afterwards.
Yeah, that was the big news because
it's been MIA.
They teased it like literally, I think, before the Switch even launched.
Yeah,
it's definitely one of those early, like, hey, we're gonna have Bayonetta 3 on Switch.
Yeah.
Wait, did they like tease Devil May Cry character in this? Is that in this game?
So
That's got my intrigue here. So yes,
it's not necessarily Devil May Cry. I mean, people are saying like he looks really Dante-ish, but if you watch the trailer, there are a couple oddities in there, and I'll say right off the bat. So they did a fake out with one of the characters from Astral Chain, like the mascot dog character, and like into like I guess trying to tease their fans, troll their fans, being like, "Oh, it's Astral Chain 2." It's like, no, it's Bayonetta 3. And the gimmick behind Bayonetta 3, because every game has like its own little gimmick. This one, it's her using her witch powers to summon her giant creatures, which she's had in the previous game, but usually you only use it as finisher or glorified summon. It's like you press these buttons, it comes out, does a little cinematic thing, and it kills whoever you're using it on. But this one, it's like full-on kaiju battle where you just like summon the character, and I don't know if you control it directly because you're also controlling Bayonetta and stuff like that. And at the end, you see this, I think it's white-haired man, like shadowy silhouette kind of thing. And people initially thought it was Dante, but now people are speculating that this is the leftovers from Scalebound being used for Bayonetta 3.
Oh, that would be cool. Actually, let's see it. I'm cool with that.
Because
I'm absolutely cool with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then somebody on Twitter said that was part of the Scalebound development years and years ago, did say that he was aware that they were still trying to reuse the technology they developed for Scalebound. So he thinks that this is it. And he says, like, I wouldn't be surprised if this was, reformatted to fit in the Bayonetta, game universe or whatever like that. So, pretty exciting.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I would love a crossover for Dante and Bayonetta. They're very similar games, and I think they could mesh in quite well as a crossover game. But that's almost like it could be its own thing, like its own game.
That would be
Yeah, it wouldn't be like a cameo appearance here. It would be, so that makes more sense to make it Scalebound kind of stuff. So again, for the interest of everybody, let's get a Bayonetta, Devil May Cry crossover game. But let's get the Bayonetta 3 out because I'm actually like that's a game I'm going to finally play in the series. So 1 and 2 I have to play still, but yeah, it's right up my alley that style of game. So looks good. Let's see, we got Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, DLC expansion. I think a big surprise for me was Splatoon 3 announced already.
Already? It's
released in 2022. Yeah, but I mean, Nintendo has so many franchises that like you get more than one per console. Like it's pretty surprising. Yeah.
Sure.
So
no, I think
2022.
is more necessarily surprising is that you're getting this franchise, I guess, a sequel before you get a new Mario Kart game. Like this Mario Kart game was not even an original game for Switch. I guess I can see that being surprising. Well, no, absolutely,
that's what I'm saying.
They don't need to, but like it's funny that you're getting.
I mean, at this point, I do see like obviously, and Splatoon 3 might be another game like this, but. I think we get like a crossover gen system where we get like the Pro system, and I think like the Zelda game like Breath of the Wild 2 for instance will be one of those games that comes out and it will work on both systems, and I think like this is another game that could do that. I don't know if Nintendo's going to do like the full on Xbox style of things. They might do more of a PS5 mix of their systems, but this could be another game that does that, like a bridge generations. I don't know. I mean, Switch is selling really well. I don't know that too, but
for me, this is like the second or third game that would be on a list of saying that, like, hey, Nintendo won't be releasing Switch 2, like a Switch 2. Not like a Switch Pro, but like a Switch 2, a sequel, like true sequel successor, for a couple of years still, because Splatoon 2 was like a premier top-selling game in the Switch launch year. I mean, it wound up selling, I think, 12 million copies or something like that, something ridiculous. And that's for a second entry in a IP is huge. So
Yeah.
I would think if a Switch 2 was looming in the next year or two, they would just save that for like a launch game. Mario Kart would obviously be the number one. That, like, if they're like, hey, Mario Kart 9, I would be like, yeah, there's no way that Switch 2 is coming out for a long, long time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's cool. I'm happy for those people. You know, it's nice to see sequels on systems. It is, like, Nintendo, like you said, like, is usually like, here you go, here's your one game for this system. Enjoy it. You know, it's like, okay, cool, thanks, bro.
All right. Let's see. We've got Daylight 2, Stay Human, a cloud version of that game, obviously.
Dying Light.
Which is Dying Light 2. Sorry. Yes.
Dying
Light 2, Stay Human. Dying Light.
Daylight,
Jesus.
Dying
Light 2. It's late for me. I'm tired. Dying Light 2. That's coming out, so we're gonna get that. And the prequel, Dying Light Platinum Edition, coming to Switch on October 19th. This game is going to be out February 4th, 2022. And then, let's see, Deltarune Chapter 2. Animal Crossing and Smash Brothers updates are... Oh, Smash Brothers Ultimate is going to get its final character in the next coming months, October 5th, actually, very soon. We're going to get that information. So look for that. That's the final character, right? That'll be it.
This is going to be the final character. Yeah. And I'm actually glad that they moved it to its own video thing, because here's the thing. No matter who gets announced, no matter who gets shown off, there's going to be way more people upset that their character didn't get in, rather than like, oh, like, I'm neutral on this character, or I like him, he's all right. But it's going to be like, fuck this character, he took Waluigi's spot, or some bullshit like that. Because that's how people are online. It's like, oh God, like, I'm really not, like, as a fan, I'm looking forward to next week, but as also a fan, I'm like not looking forward to the social media discourse surrounding it. Like, oh, this character didn't deserve it. And I'm like,
so who are you guys hoping for? 'Cause I know, Mike, you play it, and Tony, you play it a bunch.
I have not played that game in a long time, but
yeah, but you enjoyed it.
DLC. Yeah. I don't know. For me, I would like someone outside, like, of the Nintendo family. I know, like, people are like, why isn't Waluigi here or some shit like that forever?
Fuck Waluigi fans.
I would do. Yeah. I don't know. I would go more obscure. I would do a Sega character myself. I don't know. I don't even know who. I would say, like, someone stupid like Vector Man, or someone from
just say Kazuya.
Or Kiryu from
Kiryu,
yeah, he won't, but I would like Kiryu for sure. That would be my one, I guess.
Kiryu would be cool. For me, I'm actually going as the opposite. With, if this is going to be the final Smash Brothers Ultimate character, I wanted to come back internally to Nintendo and just be like I really want Sakurai to pick some random super obscure fucking character, or like minor character or enemy like Piranha Plant was, to just be like, fuck all y'all. Like, you guys gave me shit for like
the last birds decade. For you listeners.
Right, exactly. Last decade, I couldn't announce one character without all you up my ass on Twitter and complaining and shit like that. Fuck you all. So that's what I want primarily. Secondarily, I would love another Fire Emblem character in that same vein. Like, just in that same vein. God. Like, another Fire Emblem character, another sword.
I don't even play the game regularly, but I'm totally in that camp. It's like, oh my God, some other random sword person. But
yeah,
alternately, I would do another Sonic character, like a Tails or a Knuckles.
Yeah.
Because that was rumored in the fake rumor long ago for Melee, I think, that Tails would be with Sonic. and we haven't gotten any playable
Imagine if it's
Sonic
Scorpion.
character outside
That'd
of
be
Sonic.
awesome.
I think it would also
It's
be
experience with
funny.
Scorpion.
Yeah. I also think it'd be funny if they chose Shadow the Hedgehog, the lamest of the.
Oh God.
He's not really
Big
the
Cat's
lamest.
pretty
but-
much the lamest. Come
yeah.
on.
No, he's not the lamest, but he represents like a lot of the badness that comes with the new age Sonic fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Edgy the hedgy, as they
We'll
call
see.
him.
So that's that for my personal internal stuff. But if we're going third party, I would love to see just like 2B from Nier Automata is like the guest character.
Got it.
Because, like,
Yeah, I think that fits pretty well.
plus,
myself,
like, she
2B,
played so
but-
cool in Soul Calibur that like they could totally do like a fun moveset in Smash Brothers. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll talk about it next
All right,
week.
we'll see. Yeah, let's see. We got Triangle Strategy, March 4th, coming from Square Enix. That was shown. Chocobo GP,
Chocobo
the
Mario
kart
Kart.
racer.
Yep, Final Fantasy Kart
Yep,
Racer.
car racer right there. What the hell?
Come on.
Chocobo. Yeah, I said that.
I'm saying,
Voice of
it's
Cards.
funny because they put in carts and like just be chocobos, not carts.
Yeah, you're right. It should be without cards. It should just be on the chocobos. But let's see. We've got Voice of Cards.
Kart racer.
Yoko Taro is making a
Voice of Cards.
card game. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that. October 28th, this comes out, and
There's a free demo.
yeah, players will score off. Interesting. Yeah. Let's see. There's a ton of stuff in this thing. What else? Big stuff. Let's see. Age of Calamity gets an expansion DLC. The Hyrule Warriors game. They showed Mario Party Superstars, which is coming this year. We know that. October 29th for that game. DLC for Mario Golf. Oh, Disco Elysium Final Cut.
Yep.
That was a pretty big reveal. October 12th for that game. There's a lot of games coming out in October, surprisingly. Knights of the Old Republic, not the remaster, just the regular game, November 11th.
I thought that was funny.
So,
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I thought that was a weird timing
We
for
got
that.
the Final Fantasy VII. Like, oh, Final Fantasy VII is coming to the PC version to PlayStation 4. It's like, oh, okay. Thanks.
Yes, it's very similar to that. As Tony mentioned, we had Castlevania Advanced Collection, which launched, and as well as the what was it? The game it was the ActRaiser. Thank you. You mentioned that earlier. I think the big thing for me in this was the N64 Genesis expansion online thing that they talked about. That was a big release with the N64 controller, as we talked about last week. So they you are getting an N64 controller and a Genesis controller. Is it a 3-button or the 6-button?
3-button here.
In America, 3
It's a 3-button here. Yeah.
Japan,
So this is extra fee for these games. This will be raising the prices we had mentioned possibly last week. This will happen, raising the price of Switch Online. How many dollars? What are we getting here?
they didn't announce yet. They said we
They didn't announce that?
in October. And I'm sure they probably wanted to gauge the response first.
I think everybody's okay with a price increase. That's why. So
on social media like Twitter and Reddit, people seem to be like, give me, give me these games too. Now the interesting part,
Just throw my money at the screen.
yeah, like just throw your money.
yeah,
So the interesting thing here in the lineup, so they revealed their launch lineup, what I think is like Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, Mario Tennis, Star Fox, Winback, and something else. But
Pilot Wings in there?
trying to bring it up.
not Pilot Wings, not there for launch. Somebody else.
Dr. Mario 64,
Mario 64,
Win Back, Ocarina of Time,
Ocarina of Time. Yep.
obviously. Yeah,
But in their
Sin and Punishment. Sin and Punishment made this? Really?
yeah, dude, that's
Wow.
awesome. Like, I'm so glad for that. Also, I
Yeah.
would like to see the main character from that being Smash Brothers. He was a guest. He was a assist character before. But,
the game's planned. Banjo Kazooie.
That's what I
Wow.
was talking about. You just stole the words out of my mouth.
Sorry.
But
Yeah.
that's awesome because this means Nintendo's working with Rare and Microsoft to get those old games back on. So,
Yeah.
Pie in the Sky, GoldenEye, right? Pie in the Sky, Mike. I see that hopeless look in your eyes that your heart's been played with before. I know it, but you gotta believe, man. Believe. You gotta.
I think. Do you need EA to sign off on this afterwards as well? Don't they own the Bond gaming rights? Don't they have to sign off for it if they
Still?
do a
I don't
GoldenEye?
know if they still do.
Or would that just be the movie studio that owns the rights that James Bond signed off on this? I don't know how this works anymore with
I don't
these
think
rights.
Anybody has the James Bond rights right now for a video game? When was the last one that was
I
released?
thought EA still did. Oh, I don't even know. I thought EA still
I
did
think the
though.
last
but
game that I recall came out might have been like Quantum of Solace.
Right, I was like
Not sure,
10 years
though.
ago or something like that.
I'm not sure though. There might have been something after that,
Like
but
EA
around
would not
then,
be paying for the license and not using it. There's absolutely no reason to have that. So
Well,
yeah, there's
felt like that with they got Star Wars. I mean,
yeah. But yeah, Pie in the Sky, that'd be great. But even if they couldn't get GoldenEye because of James Bond rights, still you got like Diddy Kong Racing, you got Donkey Kong 64, Jet Force Gemini, Perfect Dark. Like, man, Perfect
well, there's
Dark.
news about Perfect
Yeah.
Dark also.
They announced the Crystal
show or
Dynamics.
something. Oh no, that's what it was. Crystal. Yeah,
was the
they were gonna
developer.
remake it with a different
Yeah.
studio or something.
Yeah.
Reimagine it.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
N64 should
Interesting.
be interesting. I'd like to just see everything on there, like get literally
Yeah.
any title that you can get and release it. Because it's not like I had a huge catalog, but a very good catalog. And obviously Genesis, that's a great get. I was not. I think we
Shining
talked about it
Force.
last week, but like yeah, I mean they have
Yeah.
a lot of obscure stuff.
Gunstar
Force is
Heroes.
not on.
I mean,
Did you say Dragon Force? Oh, Dragon.
no, I said Shining Force.
Oh, I was like, when I hear Force, I think Dragon Force first, obviously.
No, Shining Force, Gunstar Heroes, Echo the Dolphin. Those are games that are like classic Genesis games that they got for this, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they also got
Yeah.
they got the Contra Hardcore and
yeah,
Castlevania, whatever the Genesis one was.
Bloodlines.
Which is pretty deep. I mean, I was not expecting that.
Yeah,
So that's really cool. I hope we get a lot of those more obscure titles that you're not going to get in like the typical Genesis, like Sega Genesis collections, which I think is
yeah, I played so many of those. In the
yeah,
past.
you know, like reach deep, get us that stuff like hasn't been re-released in the past 30 years or something like that. So I'm personally super excited. I can't imagine it'll be too much more expensive. Like for a single membership, I can't see them going from more than $30 a year.
yeah,
And hopefully for family it'll be $45, I guess, for a year or whatever like that.
yeah.
But I mean,
We'll see. I mean,
the thing is, people are complaining. There are some people complaining. We're just like, oh, why can't they just give this stuff for free? And it's like, dude, like, you don't cost money to get these games, right? Like, they just don't get given out of like the generosity of these companies' hearts. Like, it's like somebody.
Especially if you're dealing with like another company like Sega.
Yeah.
You're not. Like, if it's internal,
Yeah.
then sure, maybe it's not going to be as expensive. But now you're talking about licensing and working out deals where how can both these companies profit from this instead of just yourself?
Yeah, and I'm happy with that. We're still supposedly getting the Game Boy Color on the base model of the subscription, but they didn't say it in the direct, so I'm thinking it's just going to be like,
oh, okay,
bonus, like everybody gets this today or something like that,
that'd be cool.
which would be really cool.
So,
and then those
yeah.
those retro controllers look awesome. Like I mean, I talk about it.
They do,
I have the
yeah.
SNES one, and it's amazing. It's so awesome. N64 control, I'm not really personally looking forward to getting like.
We talked about that
For
because we know the
use-
thumbstick issue. Yeah,
Yeah, like for use, I am interested to see that they actually retained the original design, because it's more of like a pointy, like a spike rather
Yeah.
than like the modern ones where it's like on a ball or something like that. And it's kind of high priced, like $50. I'm like, don't know. Like I just feel like I'm paying.
for a controller that that stick is gonna break.
Yeah,
It's like $50 for a controller that's gonna break.
or at the very least,
Well,
it's
you
like,
don't know. Now they may have reinforced it or
You
something.
can't. It's the design. It's like every third company tried. They all broke. It doesn't matter. The damage that occurs to the stick.
It could just be a different analog stick. It doesn't need to be like their analog stick.
Could be. But then it's not nostalgia.
yeah.
It's funny. I heard a good
It looks
term. It's
similar,
like
but it doesn't.
nostalgia
need to
has been
work the
weaponized.
same way.
Get ready for war.
Yeah.
Well, that's all people
So.
want is nostalgia.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
All right. I think that's the end. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
Really quickly mention that because we mentioned in the movie cast, but there is a Mario.
In a Mario movie. Yeah.
Yes, we
Which
talked
we
about
mentioned.
the casting and the
Yes.
movie cast.
Fuck Chris Pratt.
So yeah, check out the movie
movie
cast if you
cast,
didn't watch that. Yes.
Oh, there,
Thanks for tuning in.
also,
Yes.
I just we didn't write it here, but what's going on with Halo Infinite?
Oh, nothing.
Nothing?
They delayed the beta, but then it didn't matter.
No, I don't know. I mean, I don't think. I don't think they're delaying the multiplayer because someone's heads will roll if that happens. But We'll see. There was no announcement after that, so we'll see how that works.
So,
Yeah, and not boding well for that
Over
game.
there.
It's never been boding well for that game.
No. 343 is a terrible studio.
there
They
was
just can't
some
run a game. They
progression
can't run the game.
controversy around it
The
too.
game is too big for 343. Go back to Age of Empires and stop making Halo. So
They never made Age of Empires. What are you talking
yeah, sorry, that was Ensemble.
They were
right?
created
I forgot about that.
specifically
That's
to
right.
make Halo
Yes,
games, and they
that's
can't
right.
do it.
Yeah, so I always put them in with Age of Empires, but it was Ensemble Studios, if I remember right. Yeah. So, all right. That's going to wrap up 564 of the Gamecast. Thanks for tuning in. You can write us allyoungeek@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter. Like us on Facebook. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, Twitch, whatever. Watch us on Twitch. We're everywhere. Check us out. We're done.